Hi, my name is Jenny, and thanks for joining me. Today, we'll look at credit cards. We'll look at the basic concepts of credit cards. We'll look at some helpful guidelines on how to use them. And hopefully, by the end of this video, you will have a clearer idea of whether or not you should get one. In Germany, financial behavior is tracked by a private bureau called Schufa. What they do is they track financial behavior of consumers, and this helps them assess your credit worthiness. They track data on about 67 million consumers in Germany and about 6 million companies. So in Germany, cash is still king, and it's safe to say almost everyone has a bank account. You're exposed to some cards that are issued by your bank. The first being the debit card. And with this card, you spend money that you have. So you have a bank account, you have X amount in this bank account, and whenever you're using a debit card, it's taking money from your account where you have money. So basically, you spend what you have, and you will not get in debt when using a debit card, because if you do not have any money, your card declines. What exactly is a credit card? So a credit card, usually you have to apply for it. There are instances where some banks kind of target you and send you letters offering you credits. So there's also that, but typically you have to apply for it. And how it works is you borrow money from the bank and you pay the bank later. So whenever you're using a credit card, it's not money that's coming from your account. It's money that's coming from the bank, and you need to pay the bank at a point in time. In Germany, credit cards aren't as widely used as, say, the US. However, they're still available to you. People use them for online purchases, or when they travel abroad, that's what they use. It offers some form of protection as well against fraud. There are 3 types of credit cards that you will find in Germany. The first being the chargeback credit card. When you use this type of credit card, you pay the full amount on the due date. So if you spend 1,000 euros on the due date, you pay back 1,000 euros, no questions asked. Then we have what we call the revolving credit card. With this type of credit card, you have the option to pay on the due date, or you can say you want to pay the minimum. And that is where they usually get you. We'll talk about that in a bit. The third type of credit card is the prepaid credit card. And with this type of credit card, you deposit an amount of money into your account and you can only spend this money. People usually use it for budgeting. I will say most people use the revolving credit card, where you have the option to pay the full amount on the due date, or you choose to pay the minimum. There are 3 dates that matter with every credit card. The first is the billing cycle date, or the spending period. So this is when your spending is accumulating. You are not yet paying the bank back what you've spent. It's usually from the 1st of the month up until a date towards the end of the month. Let's say the 1st of the month up until 27th of the month. So this period is your spending period. You're basically accumulating spending and you're not yet paying the bank back. At the end of the billing cycle, in our case, the 27th of the month, you will receive a statement. And this is the statement date. Think of your statement as a monthly invoice. There, you will see your spending during the billing period. You will see how much you owe the bank. And you will also see when you need to pay the money back to the bank. Either paying in full or paying the minimum. It depends on what you have selected with the bank. The due date, I will say, is the most important date that you should have in your mind. This is when the money must reach the bank. If you pay the bank by this date, there is no interest. However, if you do not pay the bank by this date and you pay at a later time, this is when you will pay more than you have spent with the bank. Best way to use a credit card is to pay the full amount on the due date or before the due date. If you do it this way, you're not paying any interest. These are the 3 dates that are very important: the billing cycle dates, the statement date, and most important, the due date. So should you get a credit card? It depends. Like I said earlier, you do not need it to survive in Germany. It's not advisable to apply for a credit card if you fall into one of these categories. So if you're someone who doesn't know how to budget, if you're someone who's living above their means, if you're not financially disciplined, it is not for you. Just stay away from it. It looks attractive. If you do not have a framework for how to effectively use it to add value to your life, stay away from it. If you're confident that you're financially disciplined and you can use it, then yeah, let's look at how you can get a credit card. It's very simple to get a credit card in Germany. I would advise that you do your research. There are many banks that offer credit cards. Personally, if I should get a credit card today, I will go to Finance Flus. If you decide on getting a credit card, please just pay attention to the interest rates, pay attention to the annual fees, pay attention to how much you pay when making foreign transactions. So if you're spending the money outside of Germany, these three things will help you decide on the type of credit card to use. Today, we've talked about credit worthiness, the basic concepts of credit cards. We've looked at the 3 important dates that you should have in mind when you have a credit card. Also, we've looked at the kinds of convenience that credit cards provide you if used responsibly. So hopefully you have a good foundation regarding the use of credit cards. And if you believe that they will provide you with some benefits, then sure, go ahead and apply for one. But remember, it's not an extension of your salary, it's not free money, and avoid the minimum payments. The best way to use a credit card is to pay the full amount on the due dates. And this means that you have to be strategic about how you use them. And also, it's important not to have too many of these credit cards. The more credits you ask for, the lesser your credit worthiness is. Simply because you could be approved for, let's say, 10 credit cards doesn't mean you should accept it. There's usually a trap in there. So be very mindful, be very careful. I hope you gained a little bit of insight into credit cards, and see you next time.